Hello, my lovely friends. It's Emma here from Just a Girl Who Loves Elvis. I'm really glad you're here with me again. So wherever you are right now, if you can, just get yourself comfortable. Maybe make a cup of tea. Maybe pull a blanket a little closer. Because today, this episode feels especially quiet and especially tender. Today I want to talk about something we don't often pause to consider. Not Elvis the performer, not Elvis the legend, not even Elvis the giver, but Elvis the boy, and the way birthdays stayed with him long after the candles were blown out. Because for Elvis, birthdays weren't just celebrations, they were reminders of where he came from, of who he was before the world arrived. And in some ways, I don't think he ever outgrew them. Elvis Presley felt things deeply from the very beginning. As a child, birthdays weren't loud affairs. They weren't grand. They were modest, sometimes quiet, sometimes uncertain. But they mattered. They marked survival, another year lived, another year together. For a sensitive child, and Elvis was sensitive, birthdays weren't about presents. They were about being seen. And that feeling never left him. Even as an adult, even as the world celebrated him, there was still something very personal tied to that day. Almost fragile. Birthdays had a way of pulling Elvis backward. Back to his mother. Back to home. Back to the boy who dreamed, but didn't know yet how heavy dreams could become. And I think that's something many of us understand, isn't it? No matter how old we get, our birthday can suddenly make us feel very young again. And Elvis never seemed embarrassed by that. If anything, I think he leaned into it. The quiet moments, the reflection, the emotion that sat just beneath the surface. And sometimes, yes, like for all of us, the cake helped. Because let's be honest, cake is emotionally supportive. One thing I've always adored about Elvis is that he never outgrew joy. And birthdays brought that out in him. The teasing, the jokes, the playful exaggeration. He could be dramatic about candles, dramatic about age, dramatic about everything really. And then he'd laugh at himself 2 seconds later. That childlike wonder, that refusal to harden, I think that was part of his magic. Not only because it was cute, but because it was brave. As the years passed, birthdays became something else too. Moments of pause. Moments where the noise softened, even briefly, and Elvis could reflect. On time, on pressure, on expectations. Birthdays can do that to us. They ask quiet questions we don't always answer out loud. And I think Elvis felt those questions deeply. Not with bitterness, not with regret, but with awareness. And I think this is why Elvis's birthday still feels different. It doesn't feel like nostalgia. It feels like presence. Because birthdays remind us that someone was here. That a life was lived with feeling, with vulnerability, with heart. And Elvis Presley lived that way, openly. That's why when his birthday comes around, we don't just celebrate him. We reconnect with parts of ourselves. Before we come to a close, I just wanted to softly say this. If this episode brought you comfort or made you feel a little less alone, please consider liking the video, subscribing, or sharing it with someone who loves Elvis the way we do. It helps this space continue, and it truly means more than you know. And I would like to thank you all for being here. As we continue this birthday series together, I hope this episode reminds you of something simple but important. It's okay to not outgrow wonder. It's okay to feel deeply. It's okay to let birthdays mean something. Elvis never stopped doing that. And maybe that's one of the quiet reasons his heart still feels so close to ours. So thank you for sitting with me. Thank you for keeping Elvis close. And as always, my lovely friends, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and keep a little Elvis magic in your heart.